My name is Sridhar Rao, and I actually come from mechanical engineering background. I did my engineering in 1985 from REC Trichy. Did my MBA in international business from ICFA University. I had also studied the principles of statistics and Six Sigma from ISI, the Indian Statistical Institute at Bangalore. I have been mentored and coached by Professor A.K. Chowdhury, who is one of my friends, philosophers, and guide. I had actually worked for a nuclear client, basically a nuclear company, which is Baba Atomic Research Center and the Nuclear Power Corporation for more than a decade. Worked for Praxair India, which is the industrial gases company, in the customer services division, where I became a black belt. Then worked in IT consulting for Satyam Computers, or Mahindra Satyam as it is called now. Currently working for Accenture Consulting. The last 12 years I have been coaching and guiding clients on enhancing their operational processes using many techniques. One of them is Lean Six Sigma. A couple of other techniques that we typically use is theory of constraints and process standardization, execution excellence, etc. Call it by any name, but these are all common sense things, right? Lean is basically common sense. And I have chosen for today's discussion, I won't say it's a lecture, okay? I'm not a great teacher, but I do interact with a lot of people. And for this topic, for today's, I have chosen this topic of customer-driven operations excellence. So I would like to know from you, what is your aim in coming into this institute? What is your aim in coming into National School of Business? So since you won't be able to interact very freely because of the large size of this auditorium, I would ask you to raise your hands. How many of you have come here with dreams to start your own business? How many of you want to be entrepreneurs? A large numbers, right? How many of you want to work for a large organization, reach a great level, a great leadership level within the organization? Yeah, these are quite a few numbers. Great. And these numbers seem to be a little bit more than the entrepreneurship. I have also interacted with quite a few entrepreneurs, and the life of an entrepreneur is pretty exciting, and my life is slightly different. It is the majority. Basically, I work for a company. I enjoy working with large organizations, clients, and corporates. I work for organizations like Shell, like they are my clients. And Shell Technology Center is based out of Bangalore. They do research and development, develop new products and services. So I actually advise these kind of clients on enhancing their business, achieving efficiencies and effectiveness in their operations. Okay, so let us start off with a couple of stories that I have for you. I want to start with a very, very simple thing. How many of you do not know about Bajaj Scooters Limited? You do not know, okay. You know about it, okay. They started their manufacturing activities way back in the mid-70s. And from 1994 to through 2000, if you look at their scooter sales, it has been somewhat, it was flat, right? Starting from 11 lakhs to 13.5 lakhs. So what does this mean? There are so many marketing guys here. Any of you want to hazard a guess? What does this mean? Flat sales, no growth, right? So what does this mean? Does this mean that the market is saturated? Yes or no? How many people say yes? How many people say no? Raise your hands. No. How many people say yes to this? Market is saturated. How many people say yes? No one says. Okay. So what does this mean? There is somewhere there's a latent market which has not been explored. And then who explored this latent market? It was Honda. So what they did, in the year 2000, they spent about 2 years looking at what the customers need. what do the customers need in India specifically. So what they did, they went to various customers, understood and tried to understand their needs. So the customers were looking for better handling, maintenance-free equipment, better mileage, easy start. They used to have a kickstart, right? And typically people who are not very strong, they were not very comfortable operating these scooters. So they wanted an electric start and all that kind of stuff. So they tapped into a latent market, and then their actually sales increased from 0 to about 1.15 lakh per month, which is about 14 lakhs of scooters in about, I would say, 12 years. They started operations in the year 2000. And Bangalore is one of their primary centers because there are a lot of two-wheeler riders in Bangalore, unlike in any other city. So what does this say? This actually tells you what is important when it comes to designing your business. Okay, you may be an entrepreneur, you may be working for a large organization, but irrespective of what you are and where you are, what's important is to understand what the customers need. Now, how do you find out what the customers need? Any ideas, thoughts around this? How do you find out? Something tells me that you can actually go and talk to some prospective customers, right? You can do surveys, right? What else you can do? You can do some interviews. You can talk to people. You can look at market reports. Would any of you would like to hazard a guess about how to talk to customers? Yeah? Yeah. How else you can talk to customers? Speak up. Does anybody want to speak up? There is a mic. Yeah. Yeah. Mic on. Yeah.
You should move friendly, sir, with the customers.
Be friendly with customers, right?
Or you can prepare a questionnaire also.
You can prepare a questionnaire, exactly, right? How about you?
Sir, my name is Mohan Murali, and we need to communicate. We need to proper communication to communicate with customer.
Exactly.
And one more thing is we need to good attitude also.
Okay.
That makes customer to buy our products.
Our products. Yes, okay. Anyone else? Any ideas? One is communication, then survey, interview.
My name is Roshan Mandari. Sir, we should be like friendly. We have a friendly conversation rather than the professional one.
Professional ones.
We should understand what they actually need and what are the modifications.
Exactly. Okay. Thank you. So there are actually various ways and means of communicating with your customers. We will look at a few of them. So basically, customers, they are driven by various requirements, right? In this particular case, the customers were driven by handling, maintenance, cost, mileage, ease of operation, etc. So there will be quite a few such options, right? Some customers want flexibility in their processes. Some are looking at short timelines. So if you are going to a pharmacy, you are going to a clinic to be checked up, right? So what do you want? You want short waiting times. You want to be attended to very quickly, very immediately, right? There are certain things related to price, cost, aesthetics. People buy scent not just for the scent, but also for the design of the bottle that holds this product, right? A lot of aesthetics. And people buy scooters, especially the boys buy the bikes more for the looks and the power, right? Not just for mileage and all that stuff. Maybe that's for people like me. So, a lot of things related to aesthetics. What is accuracy? Many people want accuracy. So, if you're a laboratory technician, you want accuracy in your equipment, right? And if you are a mother taking care of a child, you want accuracy in the thermometer that you use for your for checking your child's temperature if the child is not well, right? So you can take the right decision in treating your child, right? So there are a lot of requirements. So how do you capture all these requirements? We actually have a lot of tools, okay? I'm going to talk about a few tools that you can actually use practically. Now, there are different types of tools. One is a very, very reactive thing, which is the usual thing, right? When a customer calls up and says, no, I'm not satisfied with your product, he or she returns the product to you, or not happy with your service, calls up and fires you, right? That's very reactive. And there is a proactive way of acquiring customers' needs or getting to understand that, which is proactively going to a client, even if the client is very difficult to reach out to, but getting down to know what the client wants from you, right? That's a proactive method. And there are various ways and means of getting these inputs. One is, I always keep these complaints and compliments at the top, right? These are two different types of inputs you get from existing clients, right? But not from new clients. New clients will neither have compliments nor have complaints. So you need to be very open to what their needs are. You can also look at product returns. You can look at some of the cancellations of contracts that clients do, right? As Accenture, we have also been growing from zero to whatever we are today, and we have had a very tough growth, right? We have seen our contracts expand. We have seen our scope of operations expand. At the same time, we have also lost some clients. So we always go back to those clients, more to those clients with whom we have lost business, to understand why we have lost that business. What is it that is driving them away from us? And also we are trying to look at what is it that is driving them to us, right? There are so many clients who are retaining us in spite of the fact that, I mean, my marketing guys will not be happy to listen to this, in spite of the fact that we are more expensive than most other consulting organizations. Still, there are so many clients that come to us, and we try to understand what is it that they are looking for. So understanding this all comes from looking at behavior, looking at market intelligence, looking at communications and simple casual contact, which happens in a very friendly manner. If a particular client calls me for lunch or dinner, I just take it as a signal to me saying, okay, they are probably happy with what I'm doing, right? Otherwise, I don't expect a person to call me for lunch and dinner. Sometimes it is highly just strictly professional. Sometimes we exchange gifts which are within the ethical framework, and sometimes we do not. So every behavior of my client tells me something, okay? I try to understand what is it that the client is trying to tell me, what is it that the client is feeling about my services. Now, having got all the client needs, customer needs, we also need to be very clear about what we should focus on. Now, as a particular company or as an individual, will you be able to satisfy all the people, all the customers, all the time? The obvious answer is no, right? I can probably satisfy a few customers most of the time, some customers some of the time. So I need to choose. How do I choose? I have clients who want a specific type of service, and I have certain clients who want only the basic service, right? They just want me to come and tell them what is wrong with their business, right? What is wrong with their operations. And they are telling me, yes, we can go ahead and rectify our business ourselves. There are some clients who do not know how to change their processes, and they want us to be with them for an extended duration of 2, 3, 4 years and help them with the change. For example, United Breweries or United Spirits Limited, we have been with them for nearly 3 years now, and with Shell, we are actually consulting them for nearly 5 years. So some of these clients like Piramal Healthcare, which is there in my resume, right? Piramal Healthcare, it was just a 4-month engagement for me. So what's actually happening here is some of the needs are very basic, some are extended, some are performance driven, some are capability development, right? Some customers want to develop some of the capabilities that we have in their own selves. So different customers have different needs, and I need to prioritize. And there is a specific tool called the Kano model, right? Now, let us talk about cars. What kind of comforts you expect in a car? What kind of things you expect in a car? You want sitting comfort, and Indians, we all want mileage. What else we need? Any of you want to have a grab at it? Grab the mic and speak. What else we need in a car? Stagnation periods. Stylish interiors. Yeah. Okay, stylish interiors. Smooth drive. What else? Low maintenance, speed, pickup, right? Comfort. Sorry? Safety. Exactly. Sorry? Model. Actually, the look and feel, right? The exteriors probably. High quality. Safety. Right. Cost. Yeah. Exactly. I just sold my 8-year-old Indica last week. Resale value. Color. Choice, basically. Right? So how will I know, there are so many things coming, and then how will I classify them? So you should know whether you are an entrepreneur, you are working for marketing, you are working for HR. HR people will have a very, very tough job in terms of meeting the customer requirements, and most of your customers are people, and it's very, very difficult to manage people. It's quite easy to manage, repair a car and operate a nuclear plant. I found it pretty easy to operate a nuclear plant, but I found it very tough to interact with a client and convince him to go for this change in the process. It's very tough because I have to deal with human beings, right? And I need to understand their psychology. So how do I classify my customer requirements? There are various ways. Okay, there is something called Kano model. An engineer named Kano actually designed this model. Okay, he said there are certain basic needs that you need to fulfill if you want to prevent dissatisfaction. First thing, yeah, basic needs, if not fulfilled, lead to a lot of dissatisfaction, irrespective of what you do with some of the advanced requirements. Okay, some of the basic needs, in my opinion, are, say, sitting comfort. So if I don't have sitting comfort, I have a back pain. Some of the Bajaj scooters that came quite early, the first version of Chetak, it had a lot of problems with respect to sitting comfort. But from the Model 2 onwards, they had done some changes, and it was a very successful model. Seating comfort, it's a basic need. Next, seat belts is a very basic safety need, right? He was talking about safety. So it's a basic safety need. And then road clearance, especially in a country like India, where we have very poor road conditions. So there are so many foreign models, right? European, American, Japanese models. A lot of them don't do as well as they expected because of poor road clearance, right? Like Honda Jazz or Ford Figo. But Indica does well, not because of many things, but primarily because it actually meets with the road conditions and people's, right? Then there are quite a few needs called performance needs, okay? These are called satisfiers. So what is a performance need? The more the better, the less the better, the higher the better, the lower the better, okay? It is like a proportional need, okay? So that means lower the maintenance cost, I'm happier, okay? For better the pickup, I'm happy, especially the youngsters. Mileage, right? I'm very particular about mileage, right? Especially with the petrol cost rising and all the increments, annual increments coming down because of, all the business pressures and all that stuff. So what's happening is, I don't want to spend more for my car maintenance, especially. So these are all some of the satisfier needs. The delighters, right? Cruise control, airbags. Airbags is a safety feature, but I won't say it's a very basic safety feature, especially if you are not a very fast driver. Especially in cities, I don't think it's an issue. And rear view camera, right? So I think I will go for all these kind of features in my new car that I'm planning to buy, probably, and not because I want it, because I have a son studying in a college, right? He is going to the first year of ECE in a college in Chennai, and he really wants all this stuff in my car. So you know why I have to buy a new car now, right? So these are called delighters. I mean, these are delighters for me, okay? So for my need, these are delighters, but for my son, it becomes a basic need. So what happens is, depending on the type of the customer, some of these needs will come here, some may come here, and all that. So you need to really decide which customer you want to satisfy, right? I want to satisfy myself, I will go for a car that meets with these things. If I want to make my son happy, I should actually go in for this and this, right? So I need to choose my customer, I need to choose my product, I need to choose my service levels, right? And then I choose my service or choose my product that I need to manufacture, okay, to be in business, to be in the market, and to grow in the market. Also to attract excellent employees, right? There are so many prospective employees. One of the reasons that Accenture as a company sponsors this kind of lectures and seminars with universities is we want to capture some of the best talent that is there in the industry, right? In the universities, in the schools. We go to schools and get the best possible students, right, into our organization going forward, right? That's one of the reasons why we come and we do this kind of analysis of our prospective universities, right? And then we choose where we should go and how much time we should spend in order to attract the best talent that's available in the market, right? Next, voice of customer. We have captured the voice of customer. That means we have understood what they need and how much they need and where they need this. Now next, voice of customer actually influences a lot of things for an organization, right? It influences your marketing, right? Depending on which customer you want to target, you will actually design your marketing strategy, right? You will also decide your business strategy. You will decide your R&D. What should be the size of the R&D? If I have to design a new model and if the customer requirements are frequently changing, I need to have a very strong R&D force, right? Then I decide R&D, then I decide production, I decide my finance, right? So now I'm not going to be able to address all these things, right? So I'm going to focus on operations, right? How do I do my operations very effectively given the fact that my customers' needs are these things, right? So how do we do this? Now, this is a very heavy slide. I purposely put it for your reading, right? This slide should be available in one of your websites. I will circulate it. Take your time to read through this. I will just quickly move on to the next one after briefly explaining this, okay? Operations, right? What is operations in your view? Operations means what? Typically, we think operations means the first thing that comes to my mind as a layman will be the operations performed by a doctor on a patient. It is also an operation. We also do production, right? Production is an operation. We have distribution logistics in large companies. That is also operations. We have finance function in an organization, right? There is also finance operations. There are a lot of routine things like tax payments, right? Salary payments, raising an invoice, making payment for your invoice, right? And also indenting a request for purchasing a particular product or a component from a vendor. All these are actually operations, right? So that means every operation has certain needs to be fulfilled. So if I'm HR, what is my operations? HR operations, what is that? Yeah, recruitment. It's a process. Onboarding a newly recruited employee is a process, right? And then you are an university or an institute and you have a new student joining in yesterday or day before, you have an induction process, right? How do I do my induction process effectively? So who are my customers for the process? The students, right? But who actually pays for this? The parents, right? But they are not my customers. The students are my customers. So I need to have a process. I need to define a process, make it efficient and effective, right? And everything has to be decided based on some issues, right? Everything will have some issue. Issue need not always be a problem, okay? It can be a need, a wish, a dream. For example, it's an issue if there is a lot of attrition, right? Suppose if students join an institute and a lot of students leave after 1 or 2 months, it is an issue. But a student joins and the student demands that I need to have a better library, right? Or I need to have my induction done in a more comfortable environment. Now, it is not an issue, but it is a need that is expressed, right? Now, in this case, what I'm saying as an issue is even a simple need that my internal or external customer has. That is also classified as an issue. To focus, now you need to focus on an issue, and you need to actually have certain principles that you need to adopt to address this issue in terms of speed, discipline, flexibility, adaptability, efficiency, sustenance, all that. Now, I'm going to talk about some case studies for you folks. Now, let us look at this. How many of you like chocolates? I would rather ask the other question. How many of you do not like chocolates? Yeah, very few, right? Right. So everybody likes, well, sorry? Even diabetics like chocolates, yeah. Yeah, I do like chocolates too. Now, Toblerone. Tabler is the name of the person who actually built up this company, and that was way back in 1908, more than a century ago, and this was actually purchased by Kraft Foods in 1990. It's a global brand, right? Now, they had quite a few types of products. What they did over a period of time, they focused on very simple things. They said, we will have only one plant. They stuck or they removed or kind of decommissioned the extra plants, right? They decided to go for only one recipe, one shape, one standard language, and in terms of language that they print, they had some clusters designed in order to simplify their business. They went for global marketing, okay? In the sense, their marketing strategy is a very simple marketing strategy that they adopted across the globe. And the only thing that they had slightly different was the cover and package, but the triangle shape was very common in all the products that they did, okay? So basically, what are they trying to do here? What are they trying to do? They are actually, sorry? They are actually simplifying, yeah? You want to say something? Yeah, they want to attract the customers, but they want to attract them very simply, right? No complexity there, just one single model, go for it. Or a few variants, go for it. Like United Colors of Benetton. So they have different models, but their choices are very limited. And it seems that they make the final product as per the customer's requirement in the last 3 days of their production. They have purely white colored shirts and clothes, but in the last 3 days, depending on what the customer needs, they actually add those colors, add those designs just in the last 3 days, right? So they have actually standardized, simplified, at the same time provided some complexity, diversity and choice. But Toblerone actually has gone in for a very simple model, and their actually output in terms of productivity, the output per FTE, FTE stands for full-time equivalent of a person. So productivity has gone up, production cost came down, volumes grew, okay, over a particular period of time. So all this information is available on their websites. So this is one of the cases, or examples of operational excellence that actually is driven as a strategy, okay. Operation excellence is a strategy that meets certain specific customer requirements. Next, look at Motorola. Where they were. I mean, Motorola is one of my gods because I actually learned the Six Sigma methodology, and the Six Sigma methodology was actually developed by Motorola way back in the 80s and made popular by GE, General Electric. Motorola, what they did, between these 2 years, if you look at their business, their portfolio of products that actually started coming down. That means they reduced on the number of varieties, models and all that, and they saw that their revenues were going up, and in terms of cycle time taken for delivery, it was improving, right? On-time delivery was improving, and they actually did better in the business. But in terms of the mobile phones, they have fallen behind because what's happening is they are not listening to the market, right? What has happened to Nokia? How many of you have a Nokia phone here? Yeah, I should also raise my hand. Okay. Now amongst these people, once your phone has become old or whatever, or you want to go for a new phone, or somebody flicked your phone and you have to buy a new phone, how many of you will buy a Nokia again? Okay, I am not raising my hand because I will not. So what is happening is, Nokia has actually missed on getting the voice of the customer, right? Which Samsung has got. Samsung is one of the, it is the largest in terms of, especially the smartphones, right? They have even beaten the iPhone, right? Even though iPhone has some good features, but still Samsung has left iPhone way behind. So what is happening here is, they are just looking at the pulse of the market and how the market composition is changing. Earlier the mobile phones were primarily meant for business people, right? And slowly it started changing. So in the, I would say, late 90s or mid 90s, there was one very heavy mobile phone that was being sold in Bombay. We used to call it the Anda phone because it looked like a oval shaped, very heavy, and it was like 40,000 rupees. And it was very expensive. So only great businessmen could have it. But now, you people have it, right? Your father funds it or you fund it from your previous jobs. And my son has a smartphone. 7,000, 8,000 rupees, Samsung. Yeah. So what does this mean, right? That means the market has shifted. It's no more the business class that is buying the phones. It is also the students, it's the housewives, it's a grandmother who also wants a nice, comfortable, easy to use phone to talk to her grandchildren in the US, right? And she wants to be able to talk to them as and when she wants to talk to them. So what does this mean? There is a lot of shift in the way the market expands, right? And you need to keep tab on what the market is demanding. That's very important. Look at this, simplicity, right? Simplicity in terms of Southwest Airlines, one of the most popular low-cost airlines in the US, they introduced these concepts. So what do they do differently? They have only point-to-point services, they have short haul, they don't have any long-term flights, they operate at high frequencies over the short haul between two busy airports. They have only one single type, so they actually have to train people less because you just have only one type of aircraft, low maintenance cost, low turnaround time, so quick returns, no meals served on board. So you can actually land a plane and take off very, very quickly, similar to air decon. Then they don't have any fancy stuff called frequent flyer program and all that kind of stuff. So they have been quite successful in the market in terms of attracting the type of customers who are not business class, who are probably family, who are just low income earners, but they just want to quickly move from one place to the other, right? That's all they want to do. And they were able to tap into these customers and achieve success in their business. It appears from their website that their market revenues increased tenfold over a 10-year time span. Okay, here is to speed. Okay, how many of you know about Arvind Eye Hospital? Yeah, okay, great, a lot of you. How many of you know about L.V. Prasad Institute of Hyderabad? Right, great, fantastic. So the Arvind Eye Hospital was started by Dr. G. Venkateswamy way back in the 1976. Many of you guys were not born, right? Yeah, okay. So he started with a very small hospital, started in Madurai, and it is now known as the McDonald of eye care, more because of the efficiency that he wanted to drive in the organization. So actually went there about 7-8 days back to have my eyes checked. I paid 50 rupees and got my eyes checked and my glasses prescribed. And it was a very efficient process wherein, since I was a paying patient, I was put in a fast queue, and there are also free treatment given to people, right? And they said with the 50 rupees I pay, they treat me plus 2 patients free of cost, right? So it is like their cost is so nicely minimized to an extent that with 50 rupees they can treat 3 patients and still make profits, right? And